Life becomes truly meaningful when you awaken to your true purpose. Too often people move through their days without clarity, caught in a cycle of routines, responsibilities, and distractions that consume energy but fail to bring fulfillment. The idea of purpose is not about some grand mission that only a few chosen people get to live out. Rather, it is about uncovering the unique reason you exist, the specific contribution you can make, and the sense of direction that aligns your actions with your deepest values. Purpose is the compass that transforms existence into significance, turning ordinary days into opportunities to live fully. Without it, time slips away unnoticed, leaving us wondering whether we ever truly lived. Awakening to your true purpose begins with self-reflection. It requires slowing down in a world that constantly demands speed. You must ask yourself meaningful questions. What matters most to me? What brings me alive? What are my strengths and talents, and how can they serve others? Purpose is not always obvious. Sometimes it is hidden beneath layers of doubt, fear, or conditioning from society. Many people are taught to chase security, money, or approval, but those pursuits alone rarely bring lasting satisfaction. Instead, purpose is discovered when you align who you are with what you do. When your work, relationships, and daily choices reflect your authentic self, you feel a sense of fulfillment that cannot be replaced by external rewards. It is important to understand that your purpose may not be a single fixed thing. For some, it may be raising a family with love. For others, creating art that inspires, teaching knowledge that transforms, or building solutions that improve lives. It may evolve over time as you grow, gain new experiences, and discover fresh passions. What remains constant is the feeling that you are living in alignment with what truly matters to you. When you wake up each day with a sense of "this is why I am here," you tap into a deeper motivation that fuels resilience, creativity, and joy. Awakening to your purpose also means letting go of comparison. Too many people measure their lives against others, thinking they need to follow the same path to find worth. But purpose is personal. It is not about living someone else's dream, but about embracing your own journey. Comparison drains energy and blinds you to your unique gifts. Instead of asking how you measure up to others, ask how you can best express who you are. The world does not need copies. It needs authentic individuals who shine in their own way. Living with purpose requires courage. It means taking risks, stepping outside comfort zones, and sometimes disappointing those who expect you to play small. It involves saying no to distractions and yes to the things that align with your vision. When you live on purpose, you may face resistance, but you will also feel alive in ways that comfort and conformity can never offer. The reward is not only personal fulfillment, but also the positive impact you leave on others. Purpose-driven lives inspire, uplift, and create ripples of change that last long after we are gone. Ultimately, awakening to your true purpose is about recognizing that life is precious and time is limited. Each moment is an opportunity to live with intention rather than drifting through existence. You matter, your story matters, and what you do with your life matters. The invitation is not to wait for tomorrow, but to awaken now, to listen within, and to choose a life of meaning over mere survival. When you do, every day becomes a chance to make your life matter in the deepest and most powerful way. Breaking free from fear and excuses is one of the most crucial steps toward making your life matter now. Fear is a natural human emotion, but when it becomes the dominant voice guiding our decisions, it limits us, paralyzes us, and keeps us from stepping into the fullness of our potential. Excuses are the rationalizations we build around that fear, the stories we tell ourselves to justify why we cannot act, why we should wait, or why someone else is more qualified. Together, fear and excuses form invisible chains that keep us bound to a life of mediocrity when we were created for so much more. Fear often disguises itself in different forms. It might appear as the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of not being good enough, or even the fear of success. Each of these fears whispers the same message: stay where you are, don't risk it, don't try. And while staying still may feel safe, it is actually the greatest danger because it prevents growth, progress, and fulfillment. Life begins to shrink to the size of your fears, and every excuse you make strengthens those walls around you. People often say they will try when the timing is right, when the money is better, when they feel more confident. But those conditions rarely arrive on their own. Excuses don't protect you, they keep you stuck. The truth is that fear loses its power when you take action in spite of it. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward even while fear is present. Each step you take in the face of fear weakens its grip and builds confidence. For example, someone afraid of speaking in public will never lose that fear by hiding. They only overcome it by practicing, by stepping on stage, by speaking anyway. The same applies to every area of life. Fear thrives in inaction, but it dies in the presence of movement. The moment you choose to act despite your doubts, you break the cycle of excuses and prove to yourself that you are stronger than your limitations. Excuses may feel comforting because they shift responsibility away from us. It is easier to blame circumstances, time, or other people than to confront the reality that we are holding ourselves back. Yet deep down, we know that excuses rob us of opportunity. They silence our dreams and keep us from even trying. If you think of every excuse you've ever made, you will notice they rarely bring peace. Instead, they leave behind regret, a quiet voice that asks, "What if I had tried?" Choosing to live without excuses means owning your life fully, embracing responsibility for your choices, and deciding that fear will no longer dictate your future. Breaking free requires a mindset shift. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" begin asking, "What if I succeed? What if I learn? What if I grow?" This change in perspective opens up possibility rather than closing it off. Each time you silence an excuse and act in courage, you expand your life. You discover new abilities, new opportunities, and a deeper sense of self-respect. Others around you also benefit because your example shows them what is possible when fear no longer rules. Life is too short to let fear and excuses hold you hostage. Every day you wait is a day you never get back. Freedom comes when you decide that your dreams, your purpose, and your potential are worth more than the comfort of staying safe. When you break free from fear and excuses, you reclaim your power to choose, to act, and to live boldly. And in doing so, you not only make your own life matter, you inspire others to rise above their fears as well. Choosing growth over comfort is one of the most defining decisions a person can make when seeking to live a meaningful life. Comfort feels safe, predictable, and easy, but it is also limiting. Growth, on the other hand, often feels uncomfortable, uncertain, and even painful at times, yet it is the only path to true fulfillment and impact. Every achievement, every transformation, and every story of success is born out of someone's willingness to step beyond the familiar and enter into the territory of growth. When you choose growth over comfort, you choose to stretch your mind, strengthen your spirit, and unlock potential that you never realized was within you. Comfort is seductive because it gives the illusion of security. It is the job you tolerate but do not love, the routine you follow without question, the relationships you settle for instead of nurturing deeper connections. Staying in comfort is like living in a warm, safe room, but never stepping outside to see the beauty and vastness of the world. Growth requires you to leave that room. It asks you to take risks, to embrace challenges, and to endure moments of discomfort. Yet it is in those very moments of stretching that you discover resilience, creativity, and strength you didn't know you had. Growth demands change, and change often feels uncomfortable, but that discomfort is evidence that you are evolving into a stronger version of yourself. The human spirit is designed to grow. We are not meant to stay stagnant. We are meant to learn, adapt, and create. Think about the times in your life when you felt most alive. Chances are it wasn't when everything was easy or predictable. It was when you overcame a challenge, achieved something you once thought was impossible, or pushed yourself beyond your limits. Growth gives life meaning because it continually pushes you closer to your potential. Comfort, on the other hand, slowly drains passion and leaves you with regrets about what could have been if you had dared to try. Choosing growth over comfort also means embracing failure as part of the process. Growth is never a straight line. It comes with setbacks, mistakes, and lessons. Too many people avoid growth because they are afraid to fail, but the truth is that failure is not the opposite of growth. It is a part of it. Every mistake you make while pursuing growth teaches you something valuable that you would never learn while sitting in comfort. Those lessons shape your character, sharpen your skills, and prepare you for greater opportunities. When you see failure as feedback rather than defeat, you stop fearing it and start welcoming it as a teacher. Living in growth also impacts how you influence others. People are drawn to those who are willing to step outside their comfort zones, take risks, and grow in public. Your courage becomes contagious, inspiring others to do the same. In this way, choosing growth over comfort doesn't just benefit you. It creates ripples that reach far beyond your own life. Your willingness to grow may be the spark that gives someone else the courage to pursue their own dreams. Ultimately, comfort is temporary satisfaction, but growth is lasting fulfillment. Comfort will keep you safe for today, but growth will build a legacy that lasts. Every time you are faced with the choice between staying comfortable or stepping into growth, remember that the life you truly want is on the other side of discomfort. It is in the risks you take, the lessons you learn, and the challenges you overcome. When you consistently choose growth over comfort, you not only transform yourself, but also create a life that truly matters, one that reflects courage, resilience, and purpose. Building meaningful connections is at the heart of living a life that truly matters. Human beings are wired for relationships. No matter how much success, wealth, or recognition a person achieves, life feels empty without authentic connections. Relationships give us belonging, support, and shared purpose. They remind us that we are not meant to walk through life alone, but to journey together, lifting each other, learning from each other, and creating impact that extends beyond what we could ever accomplish on our own. Meaningful connections do not happen by accident. They are cultivated through intention, empathy, and genuine investment in others. Too often, people confuse quantity with quality. In today's digital world, it is easy to have hundreds or even thousands of contacts, followers, or acquaintances, yet still feel profoundly lonely. True connection is not about how many people know your name, but about how deeply you connect with the few who truly matter. It is about conversations that go beneath the surface, about people who see you for who you are and accept you fully. These are the relationships that fuel growth, offer encouragement in hard times, and celebrate victories with genuine joy. When you focus on building meaningful connections rather than shallow ones, you create a network of trust and love that strengthens every area of your life. Building such connections requires vulnerability. Many people put up walls out of fear of being judged, rejected, or hurt, but those walls also block love, understanding, and authentic relationship. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is the courage to be real, to share your true self, and to allow others to do the same. When you open your heart, you invite deeper connections. You may not connect deeply with everyone, but with the right people, vulnerability creates unshakable bonds. It is in those spaces of honesty and authenticity that relationships flourish. Meaningful connections also demand intentional effort. Relationships do not grow automatically. They require time, attention, and care. Too often, people become so busy chasing goals or achievements that they neglect the very relationships that make life worth living. A meaningful connection is nurtured through small, consistent acts. Listening attentively, being present in the moment, showing kindness, offering help, and expressing gratitude. These seemingly simple acts are what build strong foundations of trust and love. In the end, it is not the grand gestures but the everyday choices that strengthen relationships. It is also important to surround yourself with people who inspire growth. Meaningful connections are not only comforting but also challenging. The right relationships push you to become better, to see possibilities you might overlook, and to keep going when you feel like giving up. Negative relationships, on the other hand, can drain energy, diminish confidence, and pull you away from your purpose. Building meaningful connections means choosing wisely who you allow into your inner circle and investing deeply in those who uplift and align with your values. When you build meaningful connections, you also create a ripple effect. Your presence, encouragement, and support can transform someone else's life. A kind word at the right time, a helping hand, or simply showing up consistently may be the very thing that gives another person the strength to keep moving forward. In the end, the impact of your life is not measured by what you achieve alone, but by how many lives you touch along the way. Life is fleeting, and at the end of it, what will matter most is not the titles you held or the possessions you gathered, but the relationships you nurtured. Building meaningful connections ensures that your life is rich with love, community, and shared purpose. It turns fleeting moments into lasting memories and transforms ordinary days into extraordinary ones. When you choose to prioritize people, you create a legacy of love and impact that will endure far beyond your lifetime. Living with courage and conviction is essential if you want your life to matter in a profound way. Courage is the strength to act despite fear, uncertainty, or opposition, and conviction is the unwavering belief in your values, principles, and purpose. Together, they form the foundation of a meaningful life. Without courage, dreams remain ideas, and without conviction, actions lack direction. The world has always been shaped by people who dared to live boldly and who held firmly to what they believed in, even when it was difficult. To live with courage and conviction is to decide that your life will not be ruled by fear or swayed by convenience, but anchored in truth and guided by purpose. Courage does not always show up in dramatic moments. Sometimes it is simply the quiet decision to keep going when everything in you wants to quit. It is the courage to speak up for what is right when it would be easier to stay silent. It is the courage to pursue your dreams when others doubt you, or to step into the unknown when comfort tempts you to remain where you are. These small acts of bravery add up to a life of significance. Courage is not about never feeling afraid. It is about choosing to move forward even with fear in your heart. Every time you act with courage, you grow stronger, and you show others what is possible. Conviction is what gives courage its direction. Without conviction, courage can be misplaced, used for the wrong things, or wasted on pursuits that don't align with who you truly are. Conviction is about knowing your core values and standing firm in them regardless of circumstances. It is about living in alignment with your truth, even when it costs you comfort, approval, or popularity. Conviction gives you clarity when the world around you is confusing, and it anchors you when storms of life try to shake your foundation. People who live with conviction are unshakable because their actions are rooted in deep belief rather than fleeting feelings. Living with courage and conviction often requires going against the grain. Society may pressure you to conform, to blend in, or to take the easier path. Yet true fulfillment comes from choosing authenticity over conformity. History is full of individuals who stood out because they refused to compromise their values. They may have faced criticism, rejection, or even failure, but their courage and conviction left a lasting impact. Your life does not have to be written on a global stage for it to matter. Even in your family, workplace, or community, your courage and conviction can inspire others and create ripples of change. It is also important to understand that courage and conviction are muscles you build. The more you practice them, the stronger they become. Each time you stand firm in your values, you strengthen your conviction. Each time you step into fear instead of retreating, you strengthen your courage. Over time, this creates a powerful cycle that allows you to face bigger challenges with confidence and resilience. Living this way also earns respect and trust from others, because people naturally admire and are drawn to those who stand firm and live boldly. At the end of life, what brings peace is not how safe you played it, but how true you remained to yourself and how bravely you lived. Living with courage and conviction ensures that your life is not wasted on fear or compromise, but invested in truth, impact, and authenticity. It means you will leave behind a story worth telling, one that shows the world what it looks like to live fully alive, unafraid, and unwavering in purpose. Leaving a legacy that inspires is the ultimate expression of a life that truly matters. A legacy is not just about what you leave behind when your time on earth is over. It is about the impact you make every day that continues to shape lives long after you are gone. Too often, people think of legacy only in terms of wealth, property, or accomplishments. But true legacy is far deeper. It is about the influence you have on others, the values you instill, the love you give, and the example you set. A meaningful legacy is not measured in material possessions, but in the memories, lessons, and inspiration that live on in the hearts of those you touch. Every moment of your life contributes to your legacy. The way you treat people, the words you speak, the consistency of your actions, and the integrity you live with all form the story others will tell about you. Even small acts of kindness and encouragement can become part of your legacy. A kind word to someone in pain, a helping hand to someone struggling, or the courage to stand for what is right may inspire change in ways you may never fully realize. Legacy is not built in one grand gesture, but in the accumulation of daily choices that reflect love, faith, and integrity. Leaving an inspiring legacy requires intentional living. You must decide what you want to be remembered for, and then live every day in alignment with that vision. Do you want to be remembered as someone who uplifted others, who stood for truth, who loved unconditionally, or who made the world a little better? Those things do not happen by chance. They happen when you consciously choose to embody those values in your actions. Living intentionally ensures that your legacy is not accidental but purposeful. It is also important to understand that legacy is not about perfection. No one leaves behind a flawless record, but the power of your legacy comes from how you rise after failure, how you forgive, how you keep going despite obstacles, and how you continue to love even when life is difficult. People are not inspired by perfection. They are inspired by authenticity and resilience. Your struggles and the way you overcome them often become the most powerful part of your legacy because they show others that they, too, can endure and triumph. Legacy is also multiplied when you pour into others. The greatest leaders, mentors, and parents understand that true success is not only what they achieve, but what they enable others to achieve. When you invest in people, teach them, encourage them, and empower them, your influence continues long after you are gone because it lives on in them. Your legacy spreads through the lives you have touched, reaching places you may never see. At the end of life, no one will measure you by the possessions you accumulated, but by the difference you made. Did you love deeply? Did you serve selflessly? Did you stand for something meaningful? Did you inspire others to believe in themselves, to live with courage, and to pursue their own purpose? These are the questions that define legacy. Leaving a legacy that inspires is about living each day with the awareness that your actions matter, your words matter, and your example matters. It is about recognizing that life is fleeting, but the impact you make can last for generations. When you live intentionally, love generously, and lead with authenticity, you ensure that your life story will not fade but will continue to inspire others to live fully, courageously, and purposefully. That is how you make your life matter, not just for today, but for all the days to come.